Hello and welcome to Keep Hope Alive podcast. We have a great show for you today. We got Tammy Vincent here with us, and she's amazing. She has a great story to share with us. Have some tissues if you need it. It might be a little emotional, but I'm just giving you woo, the full-blown version here. But before we get started, Tammy, did you know, really quick, that we are wrapping up our ninth season?
No, I
And
didn't
I
know
think
that.
this is the final one, I believe, for the season ending. So I'm happy. I put 10 episodes in my seasons and they're just flying off. And I'm like, oh geez, do I need to change it to 20, 30 in one season? So, but um we it's great to have you on and everything. Also really quick, guys, we do have a phone number for Tammy and I. If you have questions about the show, you can call 833-780-HOPE, because it we want to hear from you. We would want to hear what questions you have, if you like the show, or maybe just whatever, just give us a call. So, but before we get started, Tammy, how many weddings have you been to, like, in the past 15 years?
I would say probably six,
Six. Okay,
six or
perfect.
seven.
That's a lot. That's like,
I
that's good. For me being a certified wedding planner, I'm like, it's been like over maybe 50 this year. It's been a kind of slow year, but it's like, whoa. So usually when you have the ceremony, you're going in and your guests have to fill this thing out. What is that thing called?
the thing when you walk in, oh, the RSVP? No, no, or at the
Close.
ceremony? At the ceremony, I don't know. What do they fill out? I don't fill out anything.
It's a it's awesome. I love it. Somebody said their life away, and I was like, yeah, this is a good answer. The marriage certificate. But I'm looking, it feels like a game show all of a sudden. I'm looking for the word guest book. But so
Oh,
here's the thing. What is really, really cool, lifeonrecord.com is Keep Hope Alive's biggest sponsor here. And what they do is they have a vintage rotary phone they put there. So when your guests come in, they go straight to the phone, they pick it up. Congratulations. You have, yeah, or they can say, you're such a beautiful couple, whatever they want to say. They have 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 30 minutes. Now, 30 minutes if you're at a wedding ceremony with this phone, do it for 30 minutes.
yeah.
Everybody's going to be in line waiting. But right next to that phone is a QR code that your guests can scan with their own mobile device, and they can send their message right on there too, either, before or after the event. So once everything gets collected, they will burn the messages on a 10-inch vinyl record, or you have a choice of I call it the little boom box, and they'll give it to you right there. Now, you get this phone number for a year. So if you are using this for a wedding, my advice is like 2 months before the 1 year wedding anniversary, call back and say, happy first anniversary. And then they will put that on there too. So, but you can find out more information at www.lifeonrecord.com. Their plans only start at $99. Go check them out. So, all right. Well, who is Tammy?
Well, that's really direct. So
I
you're looking
know.
at her. Well, I don't know if the other people are looking at her. They might just be hearing her. But I am a mother of three, a wife,
Uh-huh.
a pug owner, very proud pug owner. I love
Oh,
my dog. I live in sunny Florida. I had a wild hair right before my 50th birthday and decided I needed to get out of the Midwest and bought a house, built a house, moved down here. Had a different business, changed my business because I actually lost a business during COVID, but I am now doing what I love. And to go backtrack about 50 years, well, let's start with this. Tammy's very happy. Tammy is very content,
hey.
is very happy where I'm at right now. Took a long time to get there, long time.
Yes.
So I would think you read my bio, and we've talked a little bit here and there, but
Yeah.
I am the what's considered the official term is an adult child. So it's a child that grew up and brought with them into adulthood all the crap from living with alcoholic parents. So it came with, just all the garbage, all the crap, the lack of self-esteem and the being berated as a kid and not loved and not hugged and, all of that stuff. And I just, I realized when I lost my job, I was like, okay, I'm 50 some years old. It is time to poop or get off the pot, I guess you could say, and do
I like
something I
that.
really love. And what I
Yeah,
want to do is help people that are in my where I was 30 years ago and help them fast track that whole process of healing so it doesn't have to take 30 years. So,
that's good. That's good. Yeah, definitely. Because it can take a while. If you don't know how to get that healing, then it's just going to stick with you until you start processing. And I mean, did you journal every day when you were going through this?
not until I was about 26. So
Okay.
when I was a child, I did journal when I was in high school, but it was more angry. Like I go back and when I go back and read those journals, like I'm like, they need to be burnt, they need to be put away, they need to be just destroyed because it was an angry, ticked off teenager, mad at the world, playing the victim game. It was bad. When I was 26 years old, people always say, "What was your aha moment? Like, when did you realize that you needed to do something different?" I always tell the story of, you ever read that book? Do you have children?
I have two kids,
Okay,
21 and 11, 10
okay.
years apart, not even planned. Doctors just kept telling me I couldn't get pregnant. You know what? It's not up to the doctors, it's up to God.
Well,
So,
yeah, they call that last one, like my last one. It's like an oops baby. I'm like, no, it's not an oops baby. It's a holy junk baby. But anyway, so you ever read the book I Love You Forever?
I believe I did. It's been a while though.
Oh, okay, it's a
I love
children's
you.
book.
Yeah.
It's a children's book and it's about this mom and she's having a baby and she's all excited. So she has this little boy and she's singing this song to this little boy all throughout his life. I love you forever, forever, something. I'll always be my mommy, I'll be, or your mommy, I'll be. So anyway,
Mhm.
so she follows up, it goes through the whole trajectory of his life. He's a terrible two, and then he's a toddler, and then he's a teenager and being a pain in the butt, and then he's an adult, and then he's grown up and out of the house. And the whole time she's singing him this song. Well, at the very end, it turns around and he's carrying this like 80-year-old frail mom and he's singing the song back to her, right?
Aw.
So it'll make you cry. But I still cry when I read it. But it dawned, like, I was 26 getting ready to have my first kid and it all of a sudden dawned on me, I don't even know what that feels like. I can't even imagine. I had no memories whatsoever of hugging my parents or anything.
Mhm.
So that was like the aha, the epitome of, oh my God, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I did. I went on a journey to figure it out because I was like, if I don't even know what unconditional love is, like what else am I gonna mess up going into adulthood? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like what else is incorrect? I want to say wrong. I don't want to say damaged or broken,
Yeah.
but ultimately at that point in my life, I was damaged and broken. I mean, let's be real. So I
Yeah.
dove into everything. And back then we didn't have the luxury of the internet. I couldn't get on Google and Google like how to not be depressed, how to love your kids, how to raise a kid, how to do anything. So
Yeah.
it was trial and error. It was a lot of therapy, a lot of everything, every modality you could possibly think of, hypnotherapy. And I'm a chronic learner. Now, for the people that know me, if anybody's listened to anything I've ever done, they know it's like I'm not going to have someone hypnotize me until I get certified to hypnotize them. Or,
Oh.
yeah, because I'm like, I don't know about this. I don't know about someone playing with my brain like this. So, um,
I just, my last podcast I just did, she's a hypnotherapist, but I got to just thinking it's a healing tool. I'm seeing it more that way because
mhm.
you're bringing up what's really bugging you, but you're at a relaxed calm. And if you can take that something from prior, examine it, and heal from it. Not saying, well, you'll know what it is, then over time you can heal it. I don't know. Maybe it could work. I
I mean,
mean, it
it's
probably does.
definitely, it's definitely a tool. And when you're helping people, and that's kind of where I'm at now, like I've used all
Hmm.
these tools to help myself, and now I have them all in this toolbox. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, but it took me, years and years and years to accumulate this toolbox. And I'm like, well, why don't
Yeah.
I just open up my toolbox for people? Like that's literally the
That's
easiest and
cool.
quickest way to say it. So like you've heard of EFT tapping. I
Oh,
was
is that the where they're doing
the
this?
and
At
going
that
like
time
this
they
and
were
going like
doing.
this. It will work for literally anything. And it was actually funny because I wrote a couple books like a year and a half ago, and I was with a friend, and we were going to some like conferences and book tours and just different things. And I was at the airport with her, and I literally did EF tapping on a total stranger who was sitting next to me because she was clearly afraid to fly. And, and that was when my friend was like, okay, that's it. You got to go all in because you've got all these tools, you have all this knowledge, you have all this wisdom, and you're doing nothing with it. And I was like, you're right. And that's kind of how it got started, how it snowballed into that. Because I want people to realize like, if people come into adulthood growing up the way I grew up, some of them don't even know, you don't know what you don't know. I
Hmm.
was a very curious individual, but some people just go through life. I talk to people that are 50, 60, 70 years old, and they're like, I just figured that's the way it was. That was the way it was destined to be. And that's not the way it's destined to be. Like people,
Yeah.
it's sad. And, I can't, I mean, I'm talking to you and your audience of whoever, however many people, but you want everybody to know that. And I love, like, when I heard about your podcast, it was like, oh, it's got the word hope in it. I'm in. I'm in. Like,
Course, you're the Hope Deacon here.
I'm the
Like,
hope you're
that's what
taking
it's
it.
about, being heard because, that's what the world needs. And my friend Charity that passed, I would talk to her over the times I knew her, but it was like we tried to talk every day at 5 o'clock, and we would talk about wanting to be heard from people like doctors, hospitals, and we would go, the teacher, it's just all over, but we would always talk about it. When she passed, it was like, this is kind of a way to honor her memory because I started a meetup group trying to help people in domestic violence
Mm-hmm.
abuse get out in a safe way. And that went well until something happened. That's a long story, but so I brought it to podcast world instead. And I love it. I love teaching about what to do and how to feel safe and good. Tell people, hey, you're not crazy. If you hear somebody talking bad to you, they will trick you, they will gaslight you, they will tell you, whatever, send in their
Mm-hmm.
flying monkeys, and you don't need to be walking on eggshells. So, but on my Facebook page for Keep Hope Alive, I'm a big Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful fan. So there's times that, it'll show what the narcissist can do to somebody. And I was like, she was scared, but I'll put the clip on there. Go, we're going to cover this, we're going to cover that,
Right.
drinking and alcohol abuse with another one. And, I'm watching a storyline. It's always Nikki Newman with Victor, and she's always drinking. I mean, it has to be every other year to keep the storyline going. But
Right.
yeah, just following her pattern and seeing, yeah, it's hard to break it, but did they ever try to stop when they were raising you,
No,
or they just kept going?
no. Yeah. And it was a different situation. Like there's two kinds of alcoholics. There's like your what people call functioning alcoholic, which I can't stand that term. They're functioning
Yeah.
enough to survive their life, but they're still not functioning enough to make sure that everybody else's life is taken care of. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's your typical, that's what, they go to work every day, they get up, they come home, they have a bunch of drinks, they ignore their kids. That's, they're doing their thing. And that was my dad.
Mhm.
Now I love my dad dearly. But then there's the other side. There's the abusive, the violent, the blackout drunk that doesn't even remember what they're saying. So they say all kinds of horrible things. And then you're a child and you're like, why would you say that? And you don't understand. So there's like two sides of it, you know? And when you grow up like that, you literally, it's such mixed messages. I mean, you said the word walking on eggshells. It's like that's
Mhm.
the best way to describe your life.
Yeah.
And it does so much lasting damage to your nervous system, to your entire
Uh,
body, to,
Anxiety, panic attacks, I would
oh
think.
yeah. Hmm. I
Oh
used
my
to,
God.
it's just funny too, because I'm 55 years old now. And I can, if I'm somewhere at I'm someone's house, or I'm, at my, even at my house, we don't have a key in my door, but when we used to have a key in our door, it was like I would
Mhm.
listen for the key coming in the door, because, and it would be like, it would be weird. It would like send me back as a kid, because I could tell by how many seconds it took to get the key in the door what the night was going to be like.
That's sad. It's sad, but
So if
I
it,
mean,
yeah, like literally, if it took
yeah.
5 or 6 seconds to get that key in the door, I better be hidden, like gone, like not anywhere around. But
Did
if the
you
key
ever
slid
sneak
right in,
out?
yeah,
And
oh
when you
yeah,
got
heck
older,
yeah.
teenager, of course you snuck
Oh,
out.
even as a little kid, I used to go and sleep under the drainage ditch in my street, because I was like, not going to be there for this one. It was bad.
But they checked on you. Did they ever? No, they never did.
Mm-mm. No.
Wow.
So
Oh
it
my gosh,
was,
I'm so sorry. First of all,
no,
I'm just
it's,
kind of thinking, sneaking out at that young age, and that's
I used to run away with a pack of Oreos, and I would eat the whole pack, and then I would come home.
smart. They'd be like, where'd the Oreos go?
Still love Oreos to this day. They were my comfort food.
Good, good,
So,
good, good. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, it's like probably getting PTSD and seeing what triggers you had too to go back to that. But going into relationships, you don't want something like that. And then being a new mom, I think, well, I just found out I'm going to be a GG in August. So
oh, yay.
I'm excited, but just kind of overlooking those steps of what you want to do. Like, I love my parents, but they're so different personalities. But from learning, I'm going to just say from both of them, they're old school. This is the
Right.
new world. And I believe in positive energy,
Hmm.
positive reinforcement, giving compliments, never bring them down. And my daughter, we were looking at maternity khaki pants because she's starting a new job. And I was like, well, you're only 7 weeks. I'll buy you new pants as you grow. So those things I go, they look good on you. And I'm not ever going to be that mom. It was my choice not to bring over what was done in the past, but use that positive and bring light to every situation. Now, if my kids get upset with me, they'll tell me, Mom, you did this and that, or you said this and that. I go, okay, am I in timeout? Because I'm happy to go
Right.
timeout as a mom.
Right.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, other than,
Well, and you grow up that way, and like, okay, so
yeah.
and I'm looking at the people, like the people that I deal with are primarily, most of my clients have gone through some kind of that. And the best way to describe it is, you picture two parents. You picture like your mom and dad who loved you very much, who hung over your crib and were like, "Oh, you're going to be so good. You're going to be amazing. You're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, the president." And grandma's coming over and doting on you and pinching your little cheeks and all that crap. And that's how you grow up. You grow up believing that, right?
Yeah.
And then you take another kid whose mom is looking into the crib going, God, I wish you weren't born. God, I hate you. God, I this, God, I that. And so what does that kid grow up thinking? And that's where but that's the norm. Like, so what do? They shrink into society. They shrink into into the back of the classroom. Because they
Mhm.
just shut it all out, or whatever, however they do it. But then it's like, so I try to tell people, I'm like, even though you're out of that house, the damage is still there. It won't be there until you unpack it. you know
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Definitely.
so, but that's why, people like, they'll say, oh, well, it's over, it's done, it's too late. I'm like, it is never too late to bounce out and be your real self again, the little kid that was born, the little pure,
Yeah.
innocent, joyful one.
Yeah. People know me. I had my childhood starting at age 30, I guess. So
Hmm.
going into karaoke, having fun, but it still lingers every Friday night. I love singing. It heals my soul. So
Oh yeah.
it's
Oh
like I'm
yeah.
gonna continue to have a mommy day out, but yeah,
And as you
so
should.
because life, it does get overwhelming at times. You know, whether you're in a routine, taking the kids to school, making sure homework's done, you know, we go to church on Sundays, we have football practice, you know, I was just like, for me, I'm doing podcasts and I'm trying to organize everything is right. And it is a job, it really is.
Yeah.
But, you know, it becomes a routine so much. It's like, where's my escape route? And I'm learning tricks of the trade with podcasting too, because I can lose my voice very easily. And I'm like, I can never have that happen. Never. So somebody told me, oh, I forgot the name of it, but you gargle it. It's like water and something. Maybe it's lemon or honey. I don't know. But it will soothe the throat and you'll get your voice back. And I'm like, oh, that's so good. But I got up on stage a couple of weeks ago and they were like, are you going to do Sweet Child of Mine? I'm like, yeah. And I was like, ah, ah. And my voice
Oh no.
cracked. I was like, but I
Oh
did three
no.
podcasts before going, and I was like, I'm sorry. I usually win tickets for the song, but it was telling me that your mouth and your jawline is tired from talking. Why are you singing? So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah, gargle. I actually sell essential oils and there's so many, like everything. Like if you get a sore throat, it's like honey, lavender, whatever it is, and gargle
Yep.
lemon, eucalyptus, whatever it is. Just
I
gargle.
never liked the eucalyptus scent. I
It's
don't
strong.
know. I will sneeze like crazy, but we had one of those up in my old job, so it was like a diffuser and
Hmm.
and we put the different scents, mix it together, and then that was good for what, 3 or 4 days. And
Hmm.
so, but yeah, those are fun. And then I remember when Scentsy came out, you know, and all the
Yep.
different, I was like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
So
God, I can't imagine losing your voice as a podcaster. That would suck.
yeah, I'm still like knock on wood. I think it's only happened once where I had to reschedule that. And it makes me feel bad if I ever have to reschedule as a podcaster. But you know, the saying your health is more important, take care of you first, and then you can reschedule and it's okay. But I tend to beat myself up on that. I feel so bad about it at times. It's because I have a big heart and you know, maybe I am a people pleaser. I don't know. But,
But give
you know,
yourself some grace. You have to give yourself some grace.
grace, you're
I
the
mean,
second
that's
person who told me that. There's something about the word grace right now I have to pay attention to.
Yep, I truly believe that because you do. You're human.
Yeah.
I mean, and nobody I know, I think you and I rescheduled and I don't remember why, but I know I didn't have any hard feelings, that's for sure.
I had the
Yeah.
wall jumped out and just struck me on the
Smack
head.
you.
I was like, wall, why did you do that? Now I'm down and out. But my
But
son thought I was kidding when that happened because I had my laptop ready to do the two podcast. He wanted to be quiet and watch from afar. And I go, good, good, you're going to learn. And then stupid me went to go get some Tylenol out of my bag. And I just thought, let me go down. And then I
yeah.
went over and I remember the sharp sound in my ear going, "Yay." And then the next day I'm seeing double, like the words were on top of words. And I'm like, what happened? Why is my head burning? But I call my neurologist. I don't want to go to the ER. Well, you have to. No, I don't.
Mhm.
It'll go away. And it just got worse and worse. But
I
then we
fell out of
found
my
out it's,
bathtub. I fell out of my bathtub one times and hit the back of my neck and my nose started bleeding. I'm like, well, that's weird. It didn't even dawn on me how bad I got hurt. I'm like, I hit the back of my head. Why is my nose bleeding? And the next morning, I'm like, why are my eyes black? Like, I hit the back of my
yeah.
head.
So
Yeah,
when you get a concussion,
they're
I'm
bad.
learning they tell you like this can last for 3 days or it could be a year. I followed up with my neurologist and they told me 1 year. I'm like, well, what's going to happen? That was my first question. What is going to happen? Are symptoms going to get worse? And they said it could and it couldn't.
Yep.
It's just, we got to see you every month. And I go, okay. So I got that. But I notice when I wake up in the morning, I'm ready for a nap again. I just
Hmm.
feel like I have to go to sleep and
Tired.
rest my brain. And I want to be in the dark. I don't want to. But,
Mm.
and then I tried to go out to football practice. And when I walked out, that cold air hit my face, which it's supposed to do, but it gave me another headache. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm stuck in my car. Yeah. So it's fun. But yeah, I got to bring awareness. Maybe I should do it on your show. Bring awareness. For people who have a concussion, you can develop something called PBA. And the best way to describe it is it's your emotion little on and off switch. You either laughing or you're crying. And for me, it's crying. Am I going to
Mm.
have this the rest of my life? Yes. Did I have to come to terms with that? Yes. Is there going to be more stories on PBA? Yes. Um,
Yes,
this is
absolutely.
the acceptance of having it. It's, hearing that keep up your podcast. And I love my doctor. She's like, and find grace with these changes. And I'm like, find grace. What am I going to do? But honesty was the best thing for me. Speak from the heart, tell people, hey, I have this. If I cry on your show, it's probably for a good reason. But I may just cry for like 3 minutes and then it goes away. But it hasn't been that. So, but knock on wood, they got me on a medication. It says, maybe 30 days to kick in, but I think it's working pretty well. So it's just learning,
Yep.
right?
And again, if you've got people on your show and they're going to be judgy, I call them judgy McFudgies, and they're going to not listen to your show or something because you get a little emotional, they're not your people anyway.
I know, I know, I know. I mean, I
So
cry at the movies too. What are you not going to take me
I do
to?
too.
I cried at church. It's not like a big boo-hoo and nobody can see the tears coming out. I mean, my mom was sitting next to me. She didn't even know I cried. Cried 3 times. And I was like, yeah. So I brought a bunch of tissues. I packed my purse with tissues now in case I need it and stuff. But they're different triggers that you can hear, like somebody going through whatever. If you hear that trigger word, you're gonna cry.
Yep.
So, but now we need to get
But
back
there's
to
things
you.
you can do
Thank
for
you
that.
for letting me have some of your space. I wanted to get that out in the open too, because it's been very stressful this week on me. Um, but you know, after the steps of being able, well, what age were you officially gone from the home?
17.
17. Okay.
Hmm. And I went back to live with my father later, but I was pretty much out of the house at 17 or 18, like
Hmm.
right before my 18th birthday. I went and got an apartment my senior year in high school because I didn't want to be home anymore. My parents had already split at that point, but I was not going to be home.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask, are they still together? What is
No,
for their,
they've both passed.
oh, wow. Well, it was the alcohol, right?
With my mom, it was, yeah. Yeah, my dad had cancer. My dad actually just passed like 6 years ago, but my mom passed when I was 18.
Oh,
So,
wow.
mhm.
So,
Yeah,
but here you are, you're gaining healing and sharing this story because there's other people out there that probably
millions,
do relate to your story and
millions.
everything. So,
They
yeah.
they said right now there's 26 million kids right now that have an addicted parent. So that's going to be
Oh,
26
wow.
million people that are carrying it down to the
Y'all got
next
to watch the
generation.
show, 26 million. I need to see it. Subscribe
It's
on YouTube. But yeah, so the numbers are just so high in that. And domestic violence goes with alcohol. Yeah,
it's yep.
I
And that's
just,
and that's why my podcast, it's adult child of dysfunction. It's, because it all's tied in together, and it doesn't matter whether your parents were alcoholics, drug addicts, whether they were gambling addicts, whether they lost
just
their
mean in
job and you
general.
were, yeah,
Yeah.
your job and you were homeless for a while. Anything that pulls them out of the capability of being emotionally there for you, it's the same result at the end. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, it's just that's hard. I know you were against the hypnotherapy. I'm like at my wits end. What would I do if I were in your shoes? That's how I look at things,
Yeah.
and just the whole child. I keep going back to the childhood and you taking off, and I understand that. I mean, you sneak back in the morning before they wake up, and
Whenever
no.
it was, they were, usually passed out, but I wasn't against the hypnotherapy. I just had to know how to do it before I would let someone do it on me. That's
Yes.
what I would
Okay.
say.
That makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
That, yeah, I wasn't against it at all. It's a very good tool. And there's so many
What-
misconceptions about it.
yeah,
People picture the guy with the little pendulum and you were getting sleepy, and it's nothing like that. So
yeah.
it's just a very
I
calm, gentle tool.
that it is. It is. I've tried one of my speakers, he's one, and I listened to his video and I actually fell asleep. I didn't need to take my Ambien. I was like, what? So he got me to sleep until YouTube switched to his next one, and it was like, do not drive a car. And I'm like, I'm up. I'm not driving a car. Don't worry, I'm not. So that was the only thing. I wish it was a smoother,
Yeah.
just a
I have,
quiet.
there's, yeah, one of my episodes is actually a girl that teaches you how to self hypnotize,
Ooh,
which is cool. It's really,
wow.
and it's actually easy to do. And there's a video on it that she does a like a little 10-minute self hypnosis on the podcast session. So it's cool.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, to
I
sleep.
gotta try that out.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep is
Yeah.
important. I want to feel like I get my full 8 hours or seven, whatever it may be. I mean, but the little things wake me up, like my dog's panting or
Mm-hmm.
the dog comes in. I have to go to the bathroom, knocking on the door to get out, I'm just like, okay. And then it breaks that sleep cycle. And then you go back and try to get it, and then your alarm's going off. And it's like, where did the day go? Like,
And
so
there's so many mixed messages about whether you should sleep with like stimulation, like, but I sleep with headphones.
I
I
sleep
I
with
get
headphones too.
I
Yeah,
do. I sleep with headphones and I usually put on like an 8 hour prayer thing where it's just quiet and calm and it just goes for 8 hours.
I
And if I have to
started
get
with
up,
Audible books,
mm-hmm.
listening and gaining knowledge. And I always said, oh, I fell asleep and the book is already over. Did my brain absorb
You're still
anything from
absorbing
that
it.
book?
You're still
Yeah,
absorbing it.
I
Mm-hmm.
know that's true because there was one book and it was talking about gaslighting, and I was like in my sleep, I heard myself go, I already know that. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm talking out loud, and I caught myself. But that relaxation music from YouTube, I just look for the cherry blossom tree with the big moon. I don't know the exact name, but that's what I usually fall asleep to. And taking time for myself. And then laughter is very, very, very important to me now. We had a guy named Jeff Tharp on my podcast, and he's a happiness coach. So I really listened to what he had to say. And I was like, I need laughter. And that sends me to TikTok and Reels and watching the funny stuff. I'm hooked on Tiny Tim right now. I think that's the name of it. Yeah.
Do you
So
do
Tiny
yoga?
Tim, if you're listening to this, you can call me. My number is 833-780-HOPE. So yeah, definitely. He's funny. He talks like a little kid. Everybody, well, I think he's like London or something way over there. They all know who it is, but he'll walk through the grocery store. Mom, you don't need that. You don't need a cucumber yet. And I'm just laughing my head off, going, this is really good stuff. So get the endorphins out. Is that what it's called? It's endorphins, I think, or
Yep.
what did
Your
he
your
call it?
happy
Yeah,
hormones.
they're out. They're about listen to calm music, calm down, and then just sleep. I love it.
Do you do
So
yoga?
I haven't. I took pictures of it. I'm a photographer. I took pictures of a yoga instructor. Does that count?
That kind of counts. It's like I watch aerobics on the TVs. That's just kind of the same concept. But if you want to laugh and if you want to do something fun, go onto YouTube and do laugh yoga. It's
Laugh
hysterical.
yoga.
Laugh yoga.
I'm gonna have to look that
You
up.
have to.
Definitely.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
laugh. Okay, I'm gonna write this down. Laugh yoga. Yoga. I remember back in the day, what was it? Tybo. You remember?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
Denise Austin, I followed her diet plan. I lost a lot of weight and I'm glad I did it and did all the exercises she did. But I mean, we didn't have the recording TV back then. So it's kind of
Right.
like, what am I going to do? Did I miss it? But that's when I got pregnant. And I didn't know for 3 months with my daughter because I decided to take the bad news of me never having a kid and work out every day. And then I don't know how I had a seizure when I was running and they took me to Presby and they never checked my blood, I guess. They just let me lay there and was pregnant the whole time.
Oh,
Did not
wow.
know. Yeah.
Well,
So,
exercise never killed a pregnant person unless it was going to kill them anyway. I actually was teaching step aerobics when my water broke with my first one.
oh wow. But that
Yeah.
was fun.
No, I got in trouble. They had just put new gym floors down. It was bad.
Oh
They had just put
no.
yeah, but I was just like, okay, up. And I went up on the step and I was like, yeah, time to go have a baby.
Now
And I
I
was
love my
huge. I
aunt.
was
Yes.
huge.
So was I with Liam. Oh my goodness. Now this is weird. I love my aunt. Plays a part in this and my best friend. My best friend was my call on duty. Hey, my water broke. We gotta go. But she was painting a house that day and up on a roof and she left her phone down. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. I was staying at a hotel closer to the hospital because we're in the process of buying a house. And long story short, I remember my water broke and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't get a hold of my friend. What am I going to do? And I was like, Mallory, give me the bathroom towels. And I just stuck it in my pants, but it was coming through the towels too. And I called my aunt. I love her and so much, but I love this. I was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. My water broke. Well, why don't you call a plumber?
Oh God.
It was like, okay, no, no, the baby's coming. Oh, and I go, you're right next to where I'm staying. Can you take me over to the hospital? But we were outside waiting for her to come. And I was like, Mallory, I'm just gonna stand over here in the bushes, like if they need to be watered. And I'll never forget this man came up, hi, how's your day going? And I was like, dear God, why is he talking to me? Like I feel like I'm watering plants. I was like, it's going good. I'm about to have a baby. Oh, do you need me to do anything? He was the nicest guy. I go, no, I'm fine. I have help coming right now. But those joyous moments, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm glad those are over though. Done with that. This
Oh
baby
God,
making
you
machine
only.
shut down.
Well, hey, I've already mentioned it on my podcast. This is really weird, but my baby makes everything's out. Tubes. I had a hysterectomy and a oophotomy thingy, but my blood work keeps coming up. I'm pregnant. They don't know
You are
why.
now?
Yeah, it's been a year. I was called Mary when I went to get my blood work. She didn't even know. And she's like, don't say anything. All I would have said is I'm a hard stick. And she goes, I saw the tubes. Aren't you happy? And I was like, there's nothing in me to have this baby. And I've been pregnant for a year and no doctor can help me. So
That's
I
so
don't know what to
weird.
do. Yeah,
So
so
weird.
the blood work, the HCG is at 11. And my specialists are, oh, it's nothing to worry about. And my family doctor is like, no, there is something to worry about. So,
Yeah, that's weird.
and when you
But
have a
hey,
hospital call, why are you coming? Oh, we don't have a code for that. And they never call you back. I couldn't get in
right.
because and then on Ambien, this is one of the stories I will tell you. I guess I reached out to what do they call it? Fertility
Fertility
clinic. Nope.
specialist.
And I was like, why is this Los Angeles number calling me? And they were like, we got your message. Did you want to schedule an appointment? I go, oh my gosh, why did I call California? Do I think California have, better specialists over there than Texas? And I was like, no, no.
Hey, a California call is a lot less calories than a normal Ambien snack, where you just eat everything in your refrigerator and don't remember it.
Like a food coma.
You ever done that?
No, no,
Oh
I
my gosh.
haven't. I
I know
I
so
keep
many people that take that just literally go to the refrigerator and binge eat in the middle of the night and they
wait,
don't remember a
the
thing.
Ambien.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know one person my thing is I go do popcorn or I'll make
Okay.
coffee and not know it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty funny and for me to hear these stories. Mom, you did this. No. And then living with my mom now. Yeah, you did. And I'm like, no, I didn't. So now everybody's scared of that pill. And I'm like researching it. Try tucking your feet in deeper in your bed to where you can't move. And it worked. But then my son said I was doing a podcast in my bed late at night with orange juice and giving toast, and the orange juice spilled all over me.
Wow.
I have Ambien stories. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna tell
It's a
you.
powerful drug.
It is. But do I get sleep? Yeah. Even when
Yeah.
I'm walking around doing stuff, I'm sleeping. So I mean, it is definitely powerful. But gosh. Um, okay, we need to go back to you because you have some books out.
We do. I do. I
Yeah.
do.
And
I have two.
I'm good. Tell us about
One
those.
is one is called Surviving Alcoholic Parents, and it's a teen's ABC guide to thriving in a world of chaos. It's strictly and it's been banned on Amazon, which makes it more fun to sell. So it is on Barnes and Nobles. But yeah,
Huh.
they didn't like it.
Okay.
AI, and you can't argue with Amazon. It's like arguing with a robot. You're not talking to a person. But then
Yeah.
the other one is an educator's guide to helping children in the classroom. So it's
Okay.
yeah. So the first one is Surviving Alcohol Career, and both of them are available on my website, which is just my name. But
Hmm.
the other one, the Surviving Alcoholic Parents, is also on Barnes and Nobles. But
That's
I
kind
have a couple hundred of them sitting here, so I just people order them on my website, and I just mail them out. But you can
of
also get a
good.
free copy too. If I don't know if you're putting links in the show notes or anything, but I can give
Yes.
people a free
Hmm.
PDF of the book too if they want it.
Oh yeah, send me that link and I'll
Hmm.
add it to everything I post for tonight. Yep. So you got homework after this. Send me a quick email with that. And then okay, so we'll go on to your website. I will put it in our website. We have a store, which is nice. So I'll link it to your website so they can
Okay.
find it and buy it there too.
Oh,
And
nice. Thank
I
you.
think it's great. Yeah, here's my podcast and here's the book you can buy. It's like a combination, which I love.
Right.
So, but definitely. And your story, I mean, what advice can you give somebody of how to find the help if they're going through this and they're scared?
The best advice is to know that you are so absolutely worth it and that you cannot count on the outside world, that everything you have that you need to be well and to be whole and to be happy is inside of you. So you just need the tools to access it. So get a support group, get a friend, get a mentor, get whatever you need, because these things will follow you into adulthood. And we were all born, God didn't go through and say good, bad, good, good, bad, bad, bad.
Yeah.
He made us
Yeah.
all good. He made us all good. He made us all happy. He made us all pure and innocent. And then no pun intended, no disrespect, but shit happened. And that's what messes with you. So it's
Yeah.
literally a matter of going back to before that stuff happened and just literally learning how to rewrite your story. And there is definitely hope, because I don't know how many, I must have heard 1,000 times over my life, I can't believe you're still here. I can't believe you made it. I can't believe you got through. And I'm like, well, I could believe it. Like, I'm the only one that had to believe
You
it.
got the Oreos and you got out of the house. So
Yeah, I'm
you're,
like, you know what? I'm like, I'm the only one that needed to believe it. And I did.
yeah.
So you can too. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. Definitely. Oh my goodness. I wanted to ask one more question and it's all coming back. So as a kid, did you ever try to explain what you were feeling and talk to your parents about stopping? No.
Mm-mm. I was very, very, basically, my mom abused me pretty bad. So there was no talking about it. There was no telling teachers. There was no telling anybody. My brother and sister and I didn't even talk amongst ourselves about it.
Whoa.
It was like the dirty little secret you didn't talk about. So many embarrassing things happened that were just like, uh, just horrible. And we just didn't talk about it. As a matter of fact, if you ask my brother, my sister, and I now we'll talk about things you would never even know by our different versions of the story, who even that we even lived in the same household.
Wow. Oh
Hmm.
my goodness. We need to bring all of you back and do another show.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know if that's
but
going to happen.
gotcha.
I mean,
My good.
my brother and sister are both in recovery. My brother's been in recovery for 35 years. My sister has been in for about 6, and my brother and sister don't speak. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, but I was always the
Well,
peacemaker.
that's good. That's good. You know, you're doing the right thing. You're doing, your work, God's work, helping others, being the hope deacon. I love that. The hope deacon, because there is hope. And,
There is.
maybe you are scared to talk it out with your parents. Would it change? It probably wouldn't, because it's like a drug. You're taking a drug and telling them to stop. So that's really hard to do.
Well,
But
it's different. People that are growing up in it, especially for kids, they need to get an outside source. It does zero
mhm,
good to go to the person. They need to go to Alateen, or when they're once they turn 18, go to Al-Anon, or
yeah,
do something else, because you don't go that going to that source. The best thing you can do, honestly, if you're a child, like if there's children listening to this, is to try to look at that person with some compassion and some empathy,
yeah,
and know that they are fighting their own demons. Nobody
yeah,
wakes up in the morning and says, I think I'm going to drink myself to death and abuse my children. They just don't do it.
yeah.
So
My goodness. I'm so sorry you had to go through that in life, but it's made you a lot stronger. I mean,
absolutely.
yeah, definitely. So, yeah, come and check you out, get her book and everything. And, I want to say thank you for being on our show today. I had fun talking to you.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. It was fun. Thank you for
I
having me.
also Oh yeah, definitely. I wanted to thank our other sponsors for on our show. As I mentioned, we had lifeonrecord.com, your interactive guest book. We also have bridalshowsinc.com. If you are in the Dallas Fort Worth area planning on a special event like a wedding anniversary or corporate party, they will have a bunch of vendors at the trade show that you can talk to and get their information and maybe book them too. So check them out. I think their next one coming up, I think it's this weekend, is Las Colinas, and then Dallas is at the end of January. But they'll have them throughout, I think, in July and September also. So our next one is Deborah Rose with milesandSmilesEvents.com. Her background is she's a, what do they call it, investigator person, but she does handwriting analysis and lip readings, and she's accurate, 100% accurate. I've seen her at these events, and I'm actually like, there could be all this other fun stuff going on at this event, but love watching her work. She's really good. So check her out, definitely. Our next one is Bryce Harney. It is www.brycemagic.com. He is a magician, a mind mentalist reader, and he is traveling all over the United States right now doing his shows. If you want a good magician, find them there and give them a call and get them booked. Our next one is richmondpunch.net. Now, Richmond graduated from the Juilliards back in the day, and he grew up, I think, most of the time in Dallas, Texas, and then now he's in Georgia, but he does travel. And he is so good at the violin. Oh my goodness. He's performed in front of 1 million people and also has some TV slots for Lifetime shows, which he was good at. So definitely. And then our last one that we have is TK Hair Salon. They are located in Plano, Texas. If you are driving through, come and get your hair cut, get it updo, styled, colored, and facial. They are amazing. So you can find them at tkhairsalon.com. Other than that, wherever you guys find your podcasts, you will find us. I do have it on Apple. I think Apple did give me the link or something. So I saw, and I'm going to confirm it now. It is on the Apple. But definitely you could check those out. Once again, our phone number is 833-780-HOPE. So if you have any questions for Tammy or questions for me, leave us a message and we'll get right back with you. But come enjoy, find your book. And once again, thank you so much for coming on.
You're very
Bye,
welcome. It
guys.
was fun.
Oh, thanks. Until next time, love and light.